Chapter 11: Wine Aging and Finishing Processes. Aging Concept. An aged wine is a wine that comes from grapes that have been skillfully vinified, thereby enabling them to evolve into a wine which can continue to develop for a long period of time. The resulting wine has its own characteristics and bouquet. By bouquet, we mean the color, taste, and aroma only some wines develop over the time. The time period we are discussing is what is called the wine aging period, which usually begins with a time in oak barrels and is later supplemented with a period of reduction in glass bottles. This can be an indefinite period, and there is no mathematical formula to tell us what the right time is. It can depend on many factors, and especially on how the grapes turn out. Of course, no 2 years or vintages are the same. The purpose of laying down the wine is to produce a more original wine with more personality than a young red wine, and we are seeking to change and improve the wine's appearance, taste, and aroma. The following classifications may vary in accordance with the specific legislation of each of the denominations of origin. Aged wine or vintage wine. Aging period of 24 months, 6 of those in oak barrels. Reserve. Aging period of 36 months, 12 months in oak barrels. Grand Reserve. Aging period of 60 months, 18 months in oak barrels. Wine fit for aging. The ability to age depends on several factors, including the grape variety, as well as the vintage and type of winemaking techniques to be used, long or short maceration, etc. Another additional factor is the coupage, or blend of different varieties of grapes. This is done in order to achieve a balance and complexity in the wine, and sometimes is done to neutralize, partially or completely, certain undesirable characteristics of a particular grape variety. Let's take a look at which wines are most suited to aging. A. Still wines. Red wine must develop well in wood and/or in the bottle. White wines. Only a few varieties evolve positively. For example, Chardonnay, Viura, and Macabeo. B. Special wines. Sparkling wines. Both champagne and cavas base much of their quality on the aging that they have undergone in the bottle. It is not normal to age these types of wine in the barrel. Fortified wine. These include types of sherry such as Amontillados, Olorosos, and Manzanilla in Jerez, and Sanlúcar de Barrameda. They owe much of their quality to the special type of aging process that they undergo as part of the solera and oak butt system. Port also undergoes noticeable changes when aged in the large wooden barrels which are typical of Portugal, and also age very well in the bottle. Aging phases. Most aged wines are red wines. There are 2 phases of aging: the oxidative phase on wood and the reducing phase in the bottle. 1. Oxidative phase. At this stage, the wine is subjected to a mild but prolonged oxygenation. The small amount of oxygen entering through the small holes in the barrel or staves makes the oxygen softly dissolve into the wine and blend in with its components. This mild oxidative stress, when maintained for a certain period of time, helps the wine to evolve. The red-violet color of young red wines tends to become a dark terracotta color due to the oxidation of the tannins and the condensation reactions of the tannins and anthocyanins. In turn, the wood provides its own components that enhance and bind the wine themselves, such as wood tannins, which are crucially involved in taste, and aldehydes, which influence the aroma of the wine. The types of wood used are mainly oak in its different varieties, American oak and French oak. During this period, it is recommended that the barrels be completely filled, as if they are only partially filled, the aging process can become accelerated and unstable, so they must be filled to the top or constantly refilled. This is a very laborious winery operation called filling. Another important job is wine transfer. when you have to transfer the wine from one barrel to another 3 or 4 times per year to eliminate the deposits that form at the bottom of the barrel as a result of the formation of natural sediment particles in the wine. 2. Reduction phase, also called bottle aging. If the wooden phase was dominated by a slightly oxidative environment, then during this phase the atmosphere is reducing without oxygen. It is the total absence of oxygen that enhances and deepens certain flavors and aromas which were acquired in the oxidative phase. This is known as tapering, where bouquet of wine is created or brought about. Due to the total absence of oxygen, the bottles have to rest in a horizontal position so that the liquid comes into contact with the cork, which swells and thus prevents air from outside getting in. The duration of this phase is variable. For example, if a wine has spent 2 years in wood, then it will normally spend 2 or 3 more years in the bottle. There is no mathematical formula that can tell us what the exact duration of aging should be, as this depends on the evolution of wine and the winemaker's experience and recollection of previous vintages. Environmental conditions for aging. Temperature. It should be even. Between 12 and 16 degrees is ideal. Higher values produce accelerated aging and less fine wines. Light. Must be very dim. Humidity. About 85%. Lower levels result in considerable reductions in the barrels. The aging chambers are often underground cellars, caves, or especially prepared areas. No odors. No noise. Bottles should be horizontally stacked.